So the other day I was having a conversation with an inspiring drone photographer, and they were asking me how they get better at pretty much being a content creator in the drone niche. And it's funny because I feel like I've been getting a lot of these questions from y'all the last few months, whether it's been in person or on social media, and it's just kind of overall how to get better at anything. And so after so many conversations that I've had with y'all and just kind of looking back on my life, I've ended up realizing that I actually follow these 5 steps anytime I want to get better at something. And I thought, hey, let me make a video about this and share it with y'all because I think these are some really good practical steps that anybody can make to get better in any situation or in any task or talent that they want to get into. So the first thing that I always ask when somebody tells me, "Hey, I want to get better at XYZ," is, "What do you mean by better?" Right? So step 1 is defining your terms. What is better for you, right? Another way that I like to ask this is, what is your heaven and what is your hell? So let's take fitness for example. If somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, I want to lose weight." Well, my next question is, what does that look like for you? What does that body type look like for you? Do you want to be very muscular? Do you want to be fit enough to go skateboarding? Do you want to be able to swim? Do you just want to be able to look good with your shirt off? Like, what does better look like for you? What is your heaven? And then, what is your hell, right? So, if that, is having that physique is your heaven, then the opposite is pretty much staying where you're at, being fat, being unhealthy, and struggling with your health. And so, if that is your hell and this is your heaven, now we talk about the steps to get you to where you want to go, which leads me to my second point, and that is learning yourself. And what I mean by learning yourself is, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses? And so here are a couple ways that you can learn your strengths and weaknesses. First one is by asking those around you, like asking your coworkers, asking your family, asking your friends, asking your spouse or the person you're in a relationship with. Like the people who spend the most time around you or who experience you the most, go up to them and be like, "Hey man, like I just want to know, hey, this is my goal, right? My goal is to lose weight. What are some weaknesses that you see in me that is going to prevent me from losing weight?" Maybe you're lazy. Maybe you don't take things seriously. Maybe you're known for giving up too easy. And sometimes they'll tell you that. And so what you need to do is take that and say, "Okay, thank you for being honest. I'm going to take those and chew on them." And so after people have told you those answers of what your weaknesses are, the next thing that you should do is meditate on those things, right? Don't just harbor them and be bitter about them. Like what I usually do is I'll pull out my yoga mat and I'll lay down and close my eyes, throw on some binaural beats, and think about those answers, right? If somebody told me, "Hey, you're not a good listener and you overpower people in conversation," well, I'm gonna go back on that and I'm gonna meditate on that. And I'm gonna sit on that and say, "Okay, why do I do that? Why do I feel like I need to be the one to talk? Do I feel like I need to compensate for something? Do I feel like I need to this and this and that?" And so I begin to dig deep and ask myself the questions of why is this my weakness and why do I allow this to continue? Which also means that you need to be honest with yourself. The person who knows you really well is yourself. So you know when you're lying to yourself. You know when you are BSing yourself. So when people tell you these things and you're going back and meditating on them, don't try to explain it away. Don't try to make excuses. Be honest with yourself and accept it and take responsibility. But it's not only knowing your weaknesses, the other thing is learn your strength as well. So if you do ask somebody, "Hey, I want to lose weight. What are some of my weaknesses?" Ask them as well. "Okay, and what are some of the strength, right? What are some things that I could build on that are going to help me succeed in my weight loss or fitness journey?" And they may tell you, "You know what? You have a really act of discipline. You're a really disciplined person, so I feel like you can lose that weight. You just need to get a right schedule." Or "I feel like you take dieting really seriously. You're always cooking your own food, and that's something you need in the fitness industry and when you're trying to lose weight. So maybe that's a strength that you have, that you love to cook and you're passionate about it, and now you're able to make healthier food, which is going to help you progress in your fitness journey." Now, the third thing that you need to do is find ways to strengthen your weaknesses. And it's so easy to do that nowadays. One, find a mentor. Go online, Google, DuckDuckGo, whatever you use. go online and find a mentor. You even go on social media and ask people to mentor you. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't, sometimes I have to charge you for it. But having a mentor really goes a long way because that allows you to learn through their mistakes. Again, let's take fitness for example. If you struggle with eating, if you struggle with being disciplined, if you struggle with, weight loss or whatever it is, find somebody who has been in your struggle, who has faced the things that you are going through right now and who has overcome them. The internet is full of stories of people who have overcome so many struggles and so many hardships. So I'm sure that you can find somebody out there who has been where you're at and who is struggling with what you're struggling with. So use that person to be not only a motivator, but also a mentor in your life to get you where you need to go. So many times as people, we feel like we need to make our own path because for whatever that is, it makes us prove something to ourselves. But at the same time, it's really easy and it's very wise to walk down the path of other people, right? Why go through a bush and stone and rock and dirt and trees and all of that and cut yourself and hurt yourself even more when there's a nice paved path that somebody has already walked for you? And so now you can use that to catapult you to where you want to go in a quicker, faster way. Another way that you can do this is listening to podcasts, listening to YouTube, listening to things that people have put out there for you to look at and be motivated by. Like YouTube is filled of videos with people who have overcome hardship and struggles, and you can find one that suits you and follow that same journey. Watching David Goggins videos is one of my favorite things to do in the morning because I feel like I used to be like that. I used to be somebody who was down and out. I used to be somebody who didn't like myself. I used to be somebody who was picked on, who allowed a lot of things to happen in my life. And I could relate with that story because then I also did everything that I could to get out of it and became a better person because of it. So, to me, David Goggins is somebody who I could relate to. So even the days where I feel like not as motivated, when I feel like I need a day off, or when I feel like, you know what, I'm going to take it easy on this one, I just throw on some Goggins and I'm, who's going to carry the boats, right? I'll say that, who's going to carry the boats? So I'll say those kind of things in my head to just kind of bolster me and get me to where I want to go, even nowadays in my fitness journey, because I'm not where I want to be yet. Which leads me to my fourth point, which is compensate your weaknesses with your strength. Now, we do this, all of us do this, both men and women, right? Let's say guys. If guys skip leg day and they have a horrible lower body, what do? They wear baggier pants and they wear more tighter fitting clothes up top because they want to show off the muscles that they have, but they want to hide the muscles that they don't have. Women do this with makeup. They contour the things that they don't like about themselves or the things that they feel like they want to hide, but they also accentuate the things about themselves that they like. So we do this in just everyday life. Do this also in your pursuit of whatever you're trying to do. If you're trying to be like, I'll give you an example. So when I first started my business, I was primarily a videographer. That's what I have my strength in and that's what I like to do. But I knew that I could make more money if I offered videography and photography and I could bundle that together. The thing is, I wasn't that great of a photographer at the time. So when I would pitch myself to clients, I would primarily focus on the video, but I would sprinkle in photo here and there. And so I was charging a little bit more, but at the same time, I was also using my strength of videography to compensate my weaknesses in photography until I became a better photographer. And so as my photography category began to build, I could now charge more because what was a weakness is now a strength. And the fifth and final thing that you should be doing to get you to where you need to go, to becoming that better version of who you are, to becoming a better creative, to becoming a better person, is surround yourself with people who motivate you. Surround yourself with people who are going to applaud your journey, right? And the reason I say that is because what I've learned in my entrepreneurship is that people who are successful want to see other people be successful. People who are happy want to see other people be happy, right? So when someone comes to me and asks me for advice, when I have the time, I will freely give it. I will tell you anything that you need to know. Why? Because this isn't a competition for me. I'm not competing against you. I'm not competing against that person. I'm competing against myself. I'm competing against the person that I see in the mirror. So what I'll do is give you all the advice that I have and all the advice that I can, because what I hope is that you will become the better version of you. That makes me happy, but also it motivates me, right? I look at you, and I can see you be successful, and I can see you going to where you want to go and becoming that person you're becoming, and that motivates me. That shows me, hey, look at them do it. I'm gonna follow right on behind them, right? I'm not somebody who gets mad. I'm not somebody who holds secrets. I'm not somebody who says, "Oh, well, these are my clients," or "This is my this or my that." For me, all of these things are up for grabs, and so also I like the competition, right? Like I like seeing other people succeed because it makes me want to succeed as well. And that's just the way it works. And a lot of the people that I surround myself with, a lot of the people who I'm now have the pleasure to call friends, whether it's in business or just living in Austin, um, they feel the exact same way. Like we're always encouraging each other, we're always giving each other ideas, we're always bouncing things off of each other because we want to make the person better. So I remember when I started the fitness journey that I'm on right now, a friend of mine who is a bodybuilder, physique champion, fitness coach, I went to him because it's like, look, I have, right? So talking about one of my strengths is that I was very disciplined. Like I'm a very disciplined person. I wake up every day at 3 a.m., 3:30 the latest to go to the gym to get my workout in because I know that that time for me is sacred. That time for me is what sets me apart from everyone else. And so when I went to my friend who's a bodybuilder, he was like, "You have the discipline, right? You have the will. You have these are your strengths, but these are your weaknesses, right? You're not training right, you're not eating right, you're not doing cardio." And so what he ended up doing was helping me, right? He was telling me my strength, which was allowing me to be like, okay, sweet, I have everything that I need to accomplish my goal. The things that I don't have, that's why he's here, right? So letting me know what workouts I need to be doing, what parts of my body I'm weak on, and what parts of my body I'm strong on my dieting, on my cardio, all these things that I did not see myself, he was able to see because he's an expert in that field. And that's where surrounding yourself with people who can motivate you, who can inspire you, who can get you to where you need to go, not just only in spurring you on and cheering you, but also giving you advice. Surround yourself with those kind of people because, man, it takes I think about so much what's going on in the world today, and how people have given up on like college and higher education in pursuit of something better, I think. Because at the end of the day, when you are going to school and so all this kind of stuff, like, I know there are just degrees out there like being a doctor and stuff like that where you need to go to school. And I think, hey, it's valid, go and do it. But so many times we see people accomplishing great tasks and doing great things without any need of education. And there's something to be said about the human will. There's something to be said about the human spirit that doesn't give up and continues to push forward and continues to move. And so when you're trying to become better at anything, like I said, whether it's fitness, whether it's your content creation, whether it's your finances, whether it's your relationships, like you need to surround yourself with people who are going to help you when you fall, when you want to give up, when you don't want to, wake up at 3 a.m., when you don't want to eat well, when you don't want to do the thing that you should be doing. But the other thing about surrounding yourself with those people is that they're also going to be cheering you on and encouraging you when you're making the right steps, right? Like when I send my friend updating pictures of me, and I'm losing the weight and I'm gaining the muscle and I'm looking and I'm getting the physique that I want, like he doesn't talk shit or he's not saying anything negative. He's encouraging me. He's like, hell yeah, man. Okay, we're gonna do this next and we're gonna do that next. Keep grinding, keep going. You know what I mean? And when you have those kind of people in your life, when you have those kind of people in your corner, it goes a long, long way. But at the same time, it also goes a long way when you have the negative people in your corner, when you have the people who are just talking you down, telling you shouldn't do this. And usually the people who are not supporting you are really just jealous, are really just scared of you succeeding because they have not had the chance to do it. And so for me, I know I've lost a lot of friends in my pursuit of just being a better person, right? Because, sometimes people just love to nag. People like to complain. People like to feel sorry for. People like to be pitied. And I'm not that kind of person. And so, in my pursuit of just becoming a better person, I've lost so many friends. But I know the friends that I've kept for whatever reason, man, is just makes that friendship so much better. Because the friends who see you trying to be better, they understand that there's going to be sacrifices. They understand that things are not going to be the same. They understand that there's going to be a change in the relationship. But they also know that because they have this relationship with you, that it isn't a negative thing. And so if you lose friendships along the journey, don't feel bad for it, right? Don't let it get you down. Don't let it deflate you, right? It's gonna happen, but that's also where you surround yourself with better and better people, better and better friends. But even in business, again, in business, this goes a long way as well. If you have a bad business partner, it's gonna kill your business. If you have a good business partner, it's gonna make it that much more successful. And so that's what I mean is when I'm having these conversations, I ended up realizing like, wait, I do this all the time. I take these 5 steps in everything that I do. Anytime I want to be better, one, I define my terms. What is my heaven? What is my hell? What does my achieving my goal look like? And what does failure at my goal look like? Second thing is, I learned myself. Again, I'm not a perfect person. I am not at my highest self, so I know I have some weaknesses. But at the same time, I'm in a way better place than I've ever been, so I know that I have some strengths. So I ask myself, what are those strengths? What are those weaknesses? I learn myself even more. Third thing, I find a way to strengthen my weaknesses. Once I learn my weaknesses, it's not like I say, okay, well, they're weak. Those are my weaknesses. There's nothing I can do about it. No, I find every way possible to make that a strength. Fourth, while I'm doing that and while I'm on the progress of making my weaknesses my strength, I compensate that weakness with my strength. I try to overshadow the negative with a bigger positive. And lastly, I always surround myself with people who are going to motivate me, who are going to make me better, and who are going to encourage me to be the person that I know that I can be. And one big way that I'm practicing what I'm preaching in this video is by shooting this video. So for the longest time, I've been wanting to do a podcast, and I've made excuse after excuse after excuse. We just had a baby. I'm working all this, with all these clients. I'm too busy. I'm too busy editing. I'm on this fitness journey, right? I had all these excuses, and some of them were valid, but at the same time, it's like, you know what? You could sit down at your desk for 20 minutes at a day or 20 minutes throughout the week and film episodes on the things that people constantly ask you. And so this is going to be the first episode of the Overexposed podcast. And so what I want to do is just take all these questions and all these answers that you guys give me and that I give you, and sometimes y'all give me a lot of great advice on social media as well. So I just really want to take all of this and use it as a means to encourage those who watch this channel, who are following me on social media. Again, shameless plug, if you don't follow me on Instagram, Ariel Austin, on YouTube, on TikTok, all the platforms, check me out. But what I wanted to do is, again, just put my money where my mouth is and say, hey, the way that you become the best version of you is by doing the things that you know you're supposed to be doing. And for the longest time, I felt like I've been wanting to do a podcast. It's been something that I've been dying to do. The last few months I've been on a few podcasts, and it's been kind of scratching that itch. And so to prove to you guys that I take these steps, I thought to myself, let me make a video, put myself in a position to hold for y'all to hold me accountable in the things that I'm saying. And so I'm pleased to say that this is episode 1 of the Overexposed podcast. And I hope that, whether I'm interviewing somebody or whether it's replying to your questions or just talking to you guys about the things that I think about or the practices that I'm doing in my business, in my life, in my relationship, in my parenting, all that kind of stuff, I really want to use this as a means of just sharing a lot more with y'all. So it could be at times things about photography and videography. It could be about the city of Austin. It could be motivational. It could be religious. It could be a whole lot of things. And that's why I wanted to call it the overexposed, right? In photography, overexposure means, hey, it's too bright, and so it also has a double meaning of I just really want to be raw and honest about a lot of the things that I do and the way that I live my life. And some of it may be pretty, some of it may be ugly, but I hope that you guys stick around. If y'all have any questions, comments, if there's anything that you would like me to talk about, or is anything that you're struggling with that you'd like to know, hey, how would I handle that situation, leave it in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and I will see y'all in episode 2. Peace out.